We made it through.
Coming here.
Yeah, thanks for coming into our room. We made it through the long lines, and we're ready to talk to you about having a successful hemp business.
Yeah, so a little bit about us. So we are working with Higher Ed Hemp Tours, and actually, can you go back behind? If you do have any questions throughout this that you might not want to interrupt or ask, text any questions to that phone number, and then at the end we're going to have 15 minutes to kind of go over any questions you all had through the text or live. But we'll leave an answer if we can, or Daniel will.
I'll be collecting your questions and I can answer them.
Yes.
Can y'all read it to us?
Oh yeah, the text is 413, or the number, 367-4743. 413-367-4743.
So text any questions there you might have during, and we'll talk about them after, or you can ask us live for the last 15 minutes of the presentation.
All right.
So I'm Leah Laxtons. I'm from the great state of Kentucky, but I've been here in Texas for quite a while, almost 20 years. I'm the founder of Higher Ed Hemp Tours and UNLV certified cannabis professional, and we're here to help you be a success.
Hi, and my name is Cynthia Morales. I'm the education director for Higher Ed Hemp Tours, and I've been focused on education for the last 15 years of my professional career. So jumping over to the hemp industry was very easy when it came to the education side. So we just wanted to share a little bit about us, our background, and kind of how we got started and why.
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, you may be wondering, what exactly is Higher Ed Hemp Tours? Well, basically, we're on a mission to pair an educated consumer with a verified brand and make that connection. We saw a need in the industry that consumers weren't adopting at the pace that perhaps some of us thought, us cannabis enthusiasts, thought that they would. So we sought out in our hometown first in Austin to find these consumers and provide a really fun educational experience for them so that by the time they get to a retail shop, they already have a base level of knowledge and education. So we've got a little video to show you exactly what happens on a hemp tour. So kind of like you would probably expect, very fun way, that's one of our tour versions is a party bus. So we get people on the bus and then basically from stop to stop discuss all the key points, which we're going to tell you a little bit more about what they know, what they don't know, so that you and your business can really reach this key consumer. So these are some of the points, really 3 points that we're going to discuss today for you building your business. And we've pulled out all the construction metaphors to make it really fun and exciting.
Yeah, we figured that from doing these tours, we got a lot of feedback from both the retail and the consumer. That was actually an added bonus to the fun we were having. So we decided to kind of compile all this into 3 main parts that we figured were the very important things to how to even attract a customer or how to retain them and actually keep them. So we're going to go over how to define your niche. Of course, everybody realizes that everybody's doing CBD and hemp everywhere. So we need to figure out which part of that you're going to focus on, because you don't want to sell everything and anything. Framework, we want to make sure that you have the right tools, maybe out of the box thinking that you didn't really realize, and we didn't either until we were doing this, and how to get your message across. And the last one is maintaining your ongoing success. So once you have, your niche, you figured out how to reach your audience, okay, let's keep them here so that we can make our roof covering, protecting our business.
Yeah, and maybe 2 years ago, it was enough to just put up a sign that said CBD and people would beat down your door because there were very few places that one could find this product, specifically in Texas. But now we see it everywhere, which in a way is a good thing because consumers are becoming more aware of the product. However, now it's not enough to just say, I do CBD and have a sign that says CBD. And we really found this true when we went out to do the tour. We wanted to bring people to shops that were all different. We did not want to just bring the consumer to 4 straight up CBD stores. We wanted them to experience the health and wellness side, the spa side, in food and beverages, all these different ways, and cannabis lifestyle, all these different ways to consume CBD.
Yeah, and just to let them know what is actually around their community and everything that's here to come. So hopefully they're keeping an eye on not just the CBD side of it, but hemp materials, farming, everything else that goes along with it.
Yeah, and what we started to find is that as we asked the retailers, okay, what's your niche? We heard a lot of, well, we educate people and we really care. And that,
Everyone
we're
should.
in CBD. And so it's kind of like, okay, this needs to be honed down and defined just a little bit more. And we've seen the shops that are really successful have done this. So how can you do this? How can you figure out who you are as a brand and reach your target customer?
So just by showing hands right now, does anybody already have a CBD store or retail shop? All right. Anybody interested in opening one or bringing that in? Okay, so maybe you've thought about these points, maybe you haven't. So kind of going back to the drawing board, what is your message? What's going to stand out aside from CBD, aside from we educate and we care? Hopefully everybody does. So make sure that your brand is going to be aligned with the actual market that you choose. So for example, your location, your demographics, your niche, all of this has to align. So if you are opening one shop, let's say here in Dallas, do you really want to go out and vend in Austin, in Houston, outside of your area where people aren't going to be able to come in and shop at your brand, right? So you want to make sure to keep within that 3-mile distance radius. So picking your location is going to be a key to who your customers are going to be.
And it's kind of like the chicken or the egg, like what comes first, your brand message or the location where you are. Hopefully the brand message, but if you're already open and then you can really define down with your location who around you is your target demographic in that neighborhood. You want to know who your perfect customer is, what they watch on TV, what newspapers they read, everything really about the way that they consume education, so that you can create a message that targets them specifically and draws them into your shop.
Yeah, so we wanted to really keep it in the education focus, but more of an experience type, rather than just sitting down like this, talking to you about hemp, going to a workshop. So the education and exploring is our niche. We really do try to go to different places and try to let people know of the variety of things that are going out there. The same with a CBD shop. If you want to educate, maybe think about who do you want to educate. So if I want to have a wellness type of style shop, well, maybe I want to bring in some athletes, some gym members, anybody around the community that's in that, vitamin shops, somebody that's going to be focused on what you're interested in. If you just have a general, today we're going to talk about CBD, well, everybody talks about CBD. You can find that information online, it's a lot of that, but they want to know what specifically is going to help them with what they do. And usually the reason that they approach CBD is because there's something that they feel they need to correct in a wellness sort of way. So maybe they want to do it in a recreational way, so you don't want to have a boutique style. You want to maybe go more to the edibles, smoking, versus you want somebody that's just going to think, oh, I'm going to take this on a wellness day. They're not going to want to smoke it maybe. They're going to want to take it in a gel cap. So even the products that you have kind of should align with all of that.
Your store design, everything should show what your message is. Cannabis lifestyle, health and wellness, spa, boutique, pharmacy sort of vibe, whatever it is that you're looking for. So what is it that the hemp consumer knows and doesn't know? Now we're based in Austin. We do reach a little bit out into the rest of the state, but we see these demographics fairly consistent around the state. These are 3 of the main questions we ask on the tour. We do a survey at the end, and we also survey them on the bus to find out what they know and what they don't know. So have you tried CBD products before the tour?
Has anybody here tried CBD?
96% say yes, they had. Are they aware of the difference between full spectrum, broad spectrum, and isolate? This one really surprised us. 88% do not know. At the time, they've been interested enough in hemp that they've come all the way to get on the tour bus with us, and they don't know this, what seems kind of basic to some of us. So, very interesting. And then how to read a lab report was also a 95% no.
They didn't even know what that was and why it was important. So, just kind of connecting these dots with the consumer really helps them to even step foot into any type of retail shop, because they don't really know what to look for. Everything's kind of out there, unregulated is what they feel. So as long as they know something, they're interested in it, you have to now figure out how to keep them here.
Yeah, we find there's a lot of confusion around the law as well. People that either think it's illegal, or really, I think it's over 90% of our tour participants do not know about House Bill 1325.
Yes.
So when they're coming in your store, sometimes it's easy for us to go straight into CBG and CBN. A lot of these consumers are at a very basic level. So reaching them with that basic knowledge is really important so that they pick a product that's going to work for them.
Yeah, and with that being said too, going into a retail that has 50 different types of products has overwhelmed these consumers. They walk in, they barely know what any of this means, much less the methods of consumption, the dosing, and all of that, and so we've noticed that the retails that have a very select product line, just 4 SKUs, 5 at most, customers don't feel overwhelmed, and they're like, oh, okay, it's only between this and this, not between 500 oils and bath bombs and gummies and hard candy and all of that. So start with a few, especially when you are starting off. I would recommend not to buy everybody. I know you want to try everything, and a lot of brands just give all of this out to retailers, but be very careful to what's in your packaging and what type of product, if it even aligned with your brand.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that we know who this target customer is, and you may be thinking in your mind hopefully about your target customer, what they do on a daily basis, how can you get your message to resonate with them? Well, that's what we call the framework of the success. We've laid the foundation by choosing our niche. Now we're creating a message that reaches this niche. Have you ever seen a commercial that was for a product you'd never used and you thought it was completely ridiculous? For me, it's like the, what is it, not Head and Shoulders, the Old Spice commercial. I was like, this is the dumbest thing I have ever seen in my life. Well, guess what? The reason why is I was not their target customer. Their target customer loved that ad, and their sales went up because of it. So don't waste money trying to capture everyone. Focus on capturing your target, and you're going to lower your customer acquisition costs tremendously. Because that's what it's all about. Customer acquisition costs, the amount you spend on marketing divided by the number of customers that come in your store.
Yeah, it's important to do a lot of events as well, but if you think about it, if you're going to be one of the many CBD retail shops in this market, are you going to get your money's worth for setting up a booth or table there? Because now all your competition's there, and so anybody can try them out. So trying to decide, okay, where am I going to set up is key. Try to find places where you are going to be the only CBD brand. If it is a health fair, you're going to be the only one there, while there's going to be doctors and masseuses, yogis, anything like that, but you're going to be standing out differently. So make sure to pay attention to that. Also, if you are going to advertise online, make sure that you can, make sure that you know what to say, make sure what you can't say. A lot of these don't get approved, so you might be wasting not just money, but time. Trying to just argue and rewording all of your ad space, and maybe finding whoever created your ad to redo it's just a big hook. So make sure that you're very aware of what you're allowed to say on certain platforms. Eventbrite is one that's very tricky. It does knock out a lot of people. We've noticed when they mention CBD, giveaways, samples, discounts, they just don't. So think about that, and there are some cannabis-specific event places that you can, like, which was the one?
Event High.
Event High, there's a new one, yeah. So there are different things that are targeted to that. So if that's gonna be your consumer, why not, advertise there versus in a platform where you don't know if everyone is interested in hemp.
Yeah, and advertising online, especially on Facebook, even though there are challenges, it is really great for fine-tuning your demographics, though, because they're going to tell you, who do you want to target? And again, it makes you think about, who do I want to target? What is the age range? What are the likes and dislikes of this customer? And we also find that, especially Instagram, social media, can really help you clarify what your niche is, because someone should be able to look at your Instagram and really pick out, or your social media, and pick out who you're trying to talk to, and know that it's not just a CBD consumer, it's a very specific CBD consumer. So we do have some sample brand Instagrams that we want to show you and kind of talk about why basically they work. We're unaffiliated with any of these brands. We kind of picked them out. So like this one, who would you say is their target demographic?
Young kids.
Yeah,
18, 20.
young, athletic, lifestyle oriented, outdoorsy.
Wellness.
They're speaking to this particular niche.
Exactly.
Here's another one.
Yeah, this one we picked it not really because of the message, more of the product. They have just one SKU and they're putting this one product now in a variety of settings. So you can start with just one thing and make it easy for everyone versus a lot of products for one type of person.
And they're utilizing the Instagram highlights, which is very important at the top of the page, so that they can really target their niche there. They're saying friends and family, so they're probably all about sort of like a family environment. They want people to go there, see their highlights, and see that they are into that. Pretty easy to pick out this one. They're targeting pet owners, right? So this is what you really want to create for yourselves within your Instagram page and your social media. Be specific. Target that particular niche that you're looking for.
Okay, so now we kind of gave you some resource or some ideas to think about. Well, how do I market these things? So there's the traditional marketing ways, but we kind of figured that there's a lot more to it. Take advantage of your community. Take advantage of the experts, take advantage of your friends, take advantage of people that want to help out. So choose a mentor, and the mentor doesn't have to be anything related to cannabis, hemp, or anything that you're doing, but they may be related to the audience that you want to target. So if you have somebody that is, again, going back to, let's say, wellness, and they're a coach, or maybe they're a doctor, or somebody like that, they're a good resource because that's your target audience. So you want to talk to them and say, okay, what about this product? What'd you think of it? Would you use it? So let them give you the feedback of your direct target audience.
Yeah, and it's free basically to have a board of advisors. Go out and find people in your community who can help you as an entrepreneur to grow, that are outside of CBD, so they don't have the CBD hemp blinders on like sometimes we do when we're inside the industry so often. Community outreach is huge because a lot of the niches go right along with nonprofit organizations, and it not only increases your brand, it shows that you care, and you get to give back along the way. So in Austin, we have Community First, which actually has hemp housing. They help homeless people get off the streets. They have a really cool hemp tiny house. And so we partner with them and volunteer there because it fits with our message. We're able to do something really fun inside the community and yet also promote hemp in a very cool way.
Yeah, and we put this out as marketing because really, you're not really going out there thinking, I'm going to go do something good, hopefully the news sees it and puts it on. No, it's kind of an organic thing that happens. You do good, good's going to come back. So always, it's an indirect type of marketing.
We get asked a lot about influencers and how to find these individuals for your brand. The place where we found most influencers is through meetup groups, and they usually have specific meetups just for influencers. It's a great place to go and find somebody that's inside of health and wellness or lifestyle, versus just hitting them up on Instagram where maybe they're bombarded with a lot of messages like that. To meet someone in person, you can really feel the connection and feel the vibe.
Yeah, and then kind of think about unique collaboration. So what value would you add to the business? So again, this is teaming up with somebody that is nothing to do with hemp or CBD, but perhaps if you are focused on pet products, you can work with an animal shelter or somebody that's doing their pet drives, their adoption drives, and maybe host something like that at your store. So just think of different ways, again, outside of it, that you can continue to draw people that have never even thought about coming to your store.
And being consistent with this message is so important. With the events that you do, with your Instagram posts, stick it out, be consistent, and people will resonate with that message. So I want to talk about some success stories, and this is kind of cool because we have Shayda here from Restart, and she's going to be speaking later today, right? Tomorrow, 2 p.m. At noon. So I definitely encourage you to go check it out. So in Austin, we have kind of really cool success story with, we have our Best in Austin voting. And it was cool because the 3 finalists were not only all women-owned stores, all very, very different stores. Shayda's store is beautiful, really plays into to me, pharmacy, very wellness-oriented. When you walk in, you feel like you're inside of a pharmacy getting valuable information there. And then the other 2 also very different. One's very spa-oriented, one's cannabis lifestyle. These are the 3 most packed stores in Austin always. So they've found their niche, they've really honed into it. The interior of their store screams the niche when you walk in the door. All of their marketing, all of their social media, it all clearly speaks to this individual in a certain demographic that I hope you're probably going to talk about some of that too tomorrow.
Yeah.
So make sure if you are going to open a retail store, you have one, you definitely want to see that panel as well. Okay, so now the last part of all of this is the roof. It's covering your investment for life, keeping this target customer coming back in your store. Why? Because customer retention cost is cheaper than customer acquisition costs, or it should be. So you want to keep this person coming back over and over. How can you do that?
Yeah, so if we kind of look at the first question, what brand messaging or experience? That's a key thing, experience. We've noticed in the tour where we've taken some of our guests there to a store, and luckily it's the store owner that is the one that's talking to our guest. And usually the store owner is going to know the most, know everything about their product, give you their background, their story, and it's going to resonate with them. They're going to want to come back and talk to them. However, when they have gone back, or we've gone to stores again, the owner now has hired somebody, and that person is not giving the same feedback. They walk in, they don't really know about all the products, they don't care as much, they care, but they're not as passionate about it. So that experience, keep in mind who you're hiring, and make sure that they share that same passion and they can deliver it as well, because that's going to be your representative when you're not there.
Yeah, this employee training is such a critical part of customer retention. Some other great ideas are, we really recommend on the tour that everyone record their usage of CBD so that they can fine-tune what milligram strength works for them, what product works best for them. We give them a little book where they can record what they've taken. I think it'd be a great idea for every shop when someone checks out to say, hey, here's a book, record what you're going to do, and how about you come back in 15 days? And if that product didn't work for you, we refund it, but let's have an appointment scheduled. Let's get this person back in the store with an appointment, just like if they were at the therapist or spa or anything else like that. Don't let them leave without having a plan to get back in your store.
Exactly, and this can be as minimal as that, making an appointment. You can also, what we've noticed too is that first-time buyers, CBD is not cheap. CBD product is not something that everybody, like we said, we visit about 4 or 5 shops, so they're not going to buy something everywhere because it's not that cheap. However, they want to make sure that if they buy a product, they feel safe enough that they can come back and just say, you know what, this didn't work for me, money back guarantee. That's been one of the more comfortable things that retailers have told us, you know what, they feel so comfortable in them buying the product because they don't have to worry about shipping it back, going through all of this, if you liked it or not. And if you have a good product, they most likely are not going to return it, So do that and feel confident enough with that product to tell them and advise them, come back if you didn't like it and why.
Loyalty programs.
Yes.
Are you using this through your point of sale? Almost every point of sale provider has some sort of loyalty program built in. Are you continuing to follow up with this customer? Maybe you can't schedule an appointment with them when they leave, but can you text them and have that automated text go out after a week that says, hey, how was the product? Is it working for you? And then get that feedback. Let's get them the product that's going to work for them so they keep on buying this product and and they see benefits and results.
And then right now, think about what methods you're employing, if anything. If not, consider that, buy two, get one free, anything like that they come back. And one of the things is we make sure that everybody has a sign-up sheet, hey, get their information so that you can annoyingly contact them back to get them. But
yeah, and there's a way
if they like it, they'll be reminded.
Yes, there's a way to do this where it's not intrusive as well. That's what we really try to do on the tour because we are getting their feedback. We don't want to be intrusive, so you can do that in a one-on-one basis as well. But make sure you're getting surveys on the products your customers like and don't like. Even if it's as simple as just your customer service associate asking this person about what they've tried, and then after that customer leaves, they write it down on a sheet of paper so that you have a little bit of an idea who within 3-mile radius around your store, who is probably most of your customer base, what they know about CBD, how they feel, what products they've used, and what they like.
Yeah.
So, as a summary, target your niche, lay your foundation, find that customer that you resonate with. A lot of this is about what you like too, right? Like, who do you want your brand to be? That's going to draw the right customers.
Yes, don't fake a brand. Don't fake your lifestyle unless you're going to be putting that person forefront and is the face of your brand. Make sure that it's going to be something you like to do and associate yourself with the style that you like. Easier.
Absolutely. Use unique strategies like the ones that we mentioned. Collaborate with other people outside of CBD and inside of CBD that are within your niche and continue to get this message spread to your consumer. And lastly, keep them coming back in the store. Retain that key customer. Don't spend all that money in the beginning and then fail to keep them coming in the store.
Yeah, make sure we were just talking to one brand and they wanted to really go to another city to go set up at this market. That was great. It's like, well, that's great and all, but are people really gonna then travel to you 2 hours away? They're not, Are they gonna go online and buy your product? Probably not. All you did was educate them for somebody that's close to them. So think about that, do a lot of things around your radius.
And lastly, we want to touch on, the growing here in Texas. We're very excited, right? USDA approved the hemp growing program. There's already a hell of a lot of hemp out there. So we've got to get these customers on board purchasing so that when our hemp is ready here, we've got a place for it to go. The latest Gallup poll, 14% of Americans said they use CBD. 35% did not know what it was. Isn't that crazy? Because we talk about it all the time. We just assume everyone knows. And it was very interesting that, the largest demographic using is 18 to 29. We know it resonates with the over 50s. 36% of them are still unfamiliar with CBD. Those are our people that we can target and get them online with good products, quality sourcing, and a great education program inside your retail shop.
Yeah, and all of this, knowing this demographic is only going to be useful if you apply it well. Don't keep these numbers and say, oh, okay, 50 to 64-year-olds, 11%. I'm going to move on to the next target. Kind of keep that in mind too when you're purchasing products, because not every product is going to resonate with that age level as well. So if you're trying to do something more for the older crowd versus the younger crowd, then I believe you should define who it is that you want to sell to in the end.
Well, guys, that is the end of our presentation. Did we have any questions come in, or does anybody have any questions here they'd like to ask us?